Hello, I'm Robert Dakota of Worldviews Media, and I'm here to introduce you to Sanaz, who's a former attendee of one of Randall's workshops that we had last April, making this next workshop this April over Easter, the second annual Easter with Randall Carlson. So I invited her out here to experience and share with you a little bit about what you're going to experience when you come out to Sedona for this event. And since Sanaz is a first-hand testimonial, I'll let her take it over from here.
Yeah, I've been watching, the works of Randall Carlson online and watching YouTube videos and, reading books by Graham Hancock, and previously met Graham Hancock at another conference. But one of my big intentions for coming out to this workshop last year was to, when you're behind the screen, you have no idea what sort of community supports, like, looking into ancient civilizations or having this discussion. So a big intention for me was to come and meet like-minded individuals. And I was just so taken back and surprised by the group of people that had shown up. Like, I never thought I was going to meet a Space Force commander. Like, that was unreal. And just to see the kind of supporters that Randall has, and also meeting his team, meeting you and making friends here, formed friendships since last year and still been in touch with everyone. And so that's amazing. So I'm looking forward to this next one and just seeing what you guys have in store.
Nice. What would you say is one of Randall's specialties for teaching, as you can see it as a teacher?
Yeah.
And you're learning from him? What's some of the attributes you would say that you would identify Randall with?
Well, he's very passionate about his work, and that comes through, and so it's very contagious. His passion is very contagious. So you're really looking into, what he's teaching through his eyes, and he's also very hands-on. So when we were doing the sacred geometry, he was going around and making sure that everyone understood the concepts if they needed help, and so it was very one-on-one, and I never expected that, and I really appreciated it.
Nice. Well, we've invited Sanaz out to meet some of the eclectic characters that are going to be attending the weekend in Easter that are locals here to Sedona. They're kind of like unknown celebrities. One of them is Martin Gray, who Sanaz had a short interview with. It's very interesting. We're going to bring you some of that. He's one of the major film photographers on planet Earth of sacred sites.
Yeah,
and you got a little taste of that. What did you think of Martin?
Apparently he's, the only person that's traveled to all of these sacred sites. And, he considers his photographs to be windows into these sacred spaces. And so to him, his work is very sacred. And he's somebody that really hasn't been public. He's not in the limelight with it. He has his personal collection, and he's very passionate also about what he does. So I know that on Saturday night we're exhibiting some of his work, and just taking a look at in all these windows of sacred spots after having learned the sacred geometry around like what it takes to build these places and what is the intention behind them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's so master.
He's a hoot.
Yeah, he's a hoot too. He's definitely one of the eclectic characters of Sedona. What about Kevin? Because you were there with Kevin at Freddie Silva, but then you sort of got a little bit of download on geomancy yesterday, where it's being implemented on a micro scale of what we're talking about could be done on a macro scale. What was your impression with Kevin?
Last year, I think it was during the Freddie Silva workshop that I also attended. I've been coming to your workshops. We went to Kevin's place and he had started the project, but now going back, it was just continuing. So in the beginning, I didn't realize what the river was for. Sorry, he has that water pathway.
Yeah, that creek, intentional creek that's built around it. Yeah.
So we were learning about what it takes to build a sacred site, and coming back this time around and seeing the progress that he's made, and also just seeing that, in terms of the project that Randall School is all about, like building these structures and teaching these sort of skills that are lost, right? Trade skills on how to cut these stones and the placements. And so, Kevin is amazing. He's an amazing engineer, and he's really in touch with the land and how to place things. And I think, having teachers like him is so profound during this time. So I was really inspired. Like, I want a smaller scale of that in my own backyard. And that's why I'm here, to learn how I can replicate this for myself, and whether in my backyard in just some small way.
Yeah, I see these guys as mastering their own skills and their own art and their own professions, and now they're at a space where they want to share that legacy and have it live on. And there's a high density of that here in Sedona, and one of the reasons why I do these events and bring people together for that.
But you're also passionate about the school project. I didn't know this before, but what you guys are doing is that the portion of the proceeds that are coming in for this is actually to support this project. So when people are attending this, they're actually supporting the school project. And so I know you've told me a little bit about it, but maybe you could tell me a little bit more in depth about the project itself from your perspective and what you think it's actually going to accomplish.
Yeah, well, Randall has this vision to build a retreat center, research center, which would have a big library, a place where we could do these seminars and events, and everybody stay in the same place, like you're at a camp, or you're at summer camp, you're learning with others, you're doing some classwork, but you're also getting out in the field, out in nature, out in the experience, not just talking about it. And then that cements in the learning, and the education really sticks.
Right.
So I like the idea of what Randall's talking about. I was originally going to be a youth pastor, and one of the things that I was going to implement was taking people out to nature all the time, and sports and activities outdoors, and that's close to my heart. And Randall's implemented it. He's lived it. He's done the homeschooling for 15 years. He's trained several kids, and he has all the curriculum. So everything's there, and I just love his vision. So I thought, well, let's bring some people together to really get behind this and make it happen, because I hear people talking about the exact same thing that he's mentioning, that they would like to have something that would resonate the same way with them, and that's what resonated with me. And I thought, well, let's get behind Randall and let's make this happen.
Right. At least for me, one of the reasons why I'm involved is, as we're being ushered into these new metaverse worlds or these virtual worlds, children growing up now are really losing touch with the real world and having skills to survive, having, the skills of our ancestors. And I believe, and it's my perspective, that we're ancestors now, as we're shifting into these worlds and changing just who we are, or becoming transhuman, or whatever it is that, the world that we're going into. I think that there's an immense amount of responsibility that we have to build such structures or schools, or, build community around this, so that we're also very rooted and grounded in the real world.
Yeah, and I had talked with others since I was younger. I had dreamed and imagined doing it myself, and seeing someone who's an architect, who's already many steps in advance, why not join that and help make that happen? And then that will flourish, and we can all use that as a template to recreate it in different parts of the world. And that's kind of what his vision is to create a couple of hubs, one in the southeast and one in the southwest.
Right, and kind of scale it from there.
Exactly.
You also mentioned that part of the intention for you to create these events was to have community and build friendships, and going back to your experiences of doing similar things before.
Yes.
So I know that's very important for you, if you could elucidate on that as well.
Yeah, well, something that will be fleshed out more over these 2 weekends. Back in 2010, 2011, my partner and I, we joined this program to teach meditation workshops in Japan. And we took that material and did that, and I see that the same way we set up those workshops and those trainings, we can take Randall's material and set that up, and then there can be hubs and teacher-parent groups, or whoever can, utilize the same type of curriculum to really establish a school that's outside of the compulsory system, and to set it up where teachers, parents, students can network with each other and get in touch with each other.
Following your intuition and your inner guidance is to, we can certainly, this event's being live streamed, so if someone can't make it out to Sedona, they can watch it online, they can watch it on HowTube. But if you have the intention of finding community around this or wanting to have impact, I think it's vital to come out and meet the people that are actually doing it and forming those connections and building that out, because you just never know what could come out of it. For me, at least, from last year to now, certain pathways have opened for me that wouldn't otherwise have opened up, just in terms of the people that I met and the projects that I'm engaged with now. And I've spent a lot of time talking to everybody here, and I feel that I have gained the discernment, to kind of put my foot in this and promote it, because I feel very strongly about it. It's something that I would want to happen.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, that I notice that happens from all these events that you spoke about, that people really come to these for, is the networking and the connection with other like-minded beings. Mm-hmm. When we were doing our meditation workshops, the people who attended those were creating lifetime friendships and bonds. And that was a really beautiful thing. And I notice when you bring these like-minded people together to work together, wow, the expansive energy gets big really quick. The possibilities, the creativity just grows really quick.
Right, and I think now more than ever we have the tools to scale things like this, with the oncoming of Web3 and just the possibilities and tools even within that to integrate with something like this. And I'm looking forward to it, because for me, I like to connect the past, the ancient past, to what's happening in the future, and I want to be a bridge in the middle. It's just how I've lived my entire life. I've been fascinated by this ever since I was 15. So for me to be here and meet the people that are pioneering in this field, it's a dream come true. Just to give you a bit of a story, last year when I was contemplating coming to this event, I was sitting on the fence about it for some time, and then I finally pulled the trigger and I'm out here. And so if you're watching this and thinking if this is going to be valuable for you, I can just attest to my own testimony that it was for me, like meeting everyone here and meeting, and now I'm looking forward to meeting Graham and just seeing his interaction with Randall. Like, these moments for me are historical. And so if you're sitting on the fence about it, just let us know, shoot us an email if you have any questions. We'd love to answer it, and we're looking forward to seeing you there.
Great. Thank you, Sanaz. Thank you for coming out, and we'll see you in Sedona.